minute.
It has been a little while, that's for sure, since we have been on here.
It will never be that long again, but...
Wow, life has been crazy, though.
Let's know what's been going on. What happened?
There's just been some crazy things that's happened. You have no idea. Because our last podcast was how to have a good day every day.
And pretty much we talked about, even on the worst days, how to make it a good day. We talked about how to have a positive attitude.
Yep.
How to have a God mindset.
Have a good perspective.
And
all the things.
Tell them what happened 12 hours after that episode.
So
released.
right after that podcast came out, we were like in our best little mind world, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get a call and we find out that we are being evicted from our apartment. Nothing that we did.
Nothing that we did. Such a long story. Details we probably shouldn't share online, but
literally, long story short, we have our
we had
corporate
to leave.
housing. We have to go from the job we work for, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we found out at like 9 p.m. and by 6 a.m. a box truck was there. We're loading our things. We had been up till 1 in the morning, packing all our stuff. And life just got super crazy after that episode.
And life ended up getting even more crazy. We ended up having to live in a hotel for about 2 weeks,
Yep.
which, don't worry, you guys, we were thinking about doing an episode in the hotel, but it was in the box truck. So
we loaded all of our gear in the box truck. Anyway, long story short, one thing rolled to the next. We were in a hotel for 2 weeks. We were traveling for our job. As
eating
you guys
Chipotle
know.
nightly.
Yeah, because we didn't have a kitchen. I mean, life was just crazy.
Life was
for a hot
crazy,
second.
but we were able to have a smile on our face during it, and I'm so proud of that for us.
Me too.
I think
it was a stretch, but we made it happen.
Oh, it was a stretch. And then I go on a mission trip to Nicaragua where I actually get deathly ill.
Yeah. Throwing up.
I also, share the details, sure.
Let me tell them about how it
Here was every symptom she had. She was throwing up. She was passing out. She was. So I
Fever.
actually had to get on a plane immediately to get back home where I was in the hospital for a couple of days. And in conclusion, 1, that is where we've been. 2, tell them what we learned from that.
Number 2 is that never preach something that you will not practice in your own life, because my word, we released that podcast and we had no idea what was around the corner.
Yep.
I mean, it hit us out of nowhere, but we had every single opportunity from the Lord to practice what we preached, which was have a good day every day, because ultimately how to have a good day every day is about your perspective. And I know we mentioned this, but wow, I have a clear moment in my mind of everything happening with apartment. We sit down and we're like, what are we going to do about this?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a good attitude? Are we going to take a second and pout with our little umbrellas like we talked about? Where are we taking this? And ultimately, especially after this podcast, we were so encouraged just to be like, you know what? We can make every day a good day. There's something on the other side of this that's better, and ultimately we know with the Lord we go from glory to glory. So something has to be better on the other side.
So good. Yeah, we literally were on the bed, and I remember being like, let's call a spade a spade. This situation is not good. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I was like, do we want to give ourselves an hour and kind of be sad about the situation and get ourselves going, or do we want to take the higher road, know that there's something better on the other side, and make the best out of this situation?
Yeah.
We're going to insert some clips right now of us. We started blasting music, put our hair in buns, we opened our Alanis, and we packed up the whole apartment in under 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just launched our podcast on the unknown and how to find happiness in the unknown. And guess what God did? He said, I'm going to test that. And after we launched the podcast, a couple of hours later, we got a call saying that we are being evicted and we have to leave by tomorrow morning.
And
That's
I know
so crazy.
it was probably one of the craziest. I've never in my life experienced something like that, living at a hotel. Praise the Lord, we're now in this beautiful new home. But I think because of our attitudes, because of our perspective, I'm gonna look back on those 3 weeks, and honestly, those are like some of the best 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We were in the hotel every single night eating Chipotle. We're binge watching Vampire Diaries again.
Literally.
So we were binge watching that, and it's just like it's crazy how that moment could have changed all of those memories due to just our attitude towards it and our perspective towards it. And so if we can give you guys any encouragement, it is put that smile on your face, have a good day every day, no matter what happens. Life is always going to throw things at you.
Curveballs for sure.
But tell them about our guest we have today.
We're so excited. So that was a little recap on episode 2, what life's been like. But now, today, welcome to episode 3.
Welcome to episode 3.
By the way, welcome.
By the way, we're on episode 3. Things are getting serious
We're
now.
so excited because today we have our very first guest on the podcast. And I'm so excited because it's my mom. And we are just going to chat with her. We have questions, do a little Q&A time, and learn all about her. So we're super excited.
We're super excited.
Okay, well, welcome to the Friendship Files podcast, Mom. Oh my gosh. Well, this is my mom, Cheryl, but better known as Mama Sherelle. That started way back when we were on a family vacation, and someone at Chick-fil-A kept saying Sherelle, and I was so confused because it had been so long, but that name just stuck when we realized they were saying Mama Sherelle. So all my friends all through high school have called her that. So welcome to the Friendship Files podcast,
Thanks,
Mama.
girl.
Welcome. We are so excited to have her on. This woman is incredible. When we were thinking about who our first guest was going to be, it was not a doubt in our mind that it was going to be Mama Sherelle.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, grab your snack, grab a good drink, and listen to this amazing woman tell us about her life and things she's learned in her life.
We're so excited to document this too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's start off strong.
Whoa.
Let's start off
Start off
strong. Let's start off strong. Let's hit him. Let's hit him where it needs to be hit. Tell us a 5-minute testimony, like, of Jesus, like how you met Jesus.
What
like
life's been like,
yeah.
if you could like shrink testimony down into like a few minutes, what would it be?
Well, I grew up in church, going to
Yeah.
church and vacation Bible schools, several of them a summer. I always said that was the way Mom got rid of us.
She sent you to Bible school.
Sent us
She
to
sent her to
vacation
Bible
school. Yes, she did. But you know, I think it's been in my later years in life where I've really dug into the Bible and developed that personal relationship with the Lord, and it's been out of necessity.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's been out of the, you know, the hard times
Yeah.
that you draw closer to God. It's not necessarily when things are going well and you think life is good and you don't necessarily make as much time for Him
Yeah.
and make Him a priority early in the morning, but it's been in the later years and you just realize that life is a journey and He peels us like an onion and He changes us from glory to glory to glory.
So good. So what are some of your daily habits? Like what are some daily habits you have with the Lord that help keep that consistent relationship flow going?
Yeah.
I'm definitely a first thing in the morning. I need that.
Yes, she is. She wakes up at 4 a.m., you guys.
Yeah.
4 in the morning.
Super early riser.
She's
Some
like,
days more so than others. But and then I just love listening to praise and worship music. I just think that just changes the attitude of your heart. It says in the Bible that the Lord inhabits our praise, and you know that when we are full of thanksgiving is when things change. Paul and Silas were in prison in bad circumstances, and they were praising the Lord, and that's when the chains fell, the strongholds broke,
so
and
good.
the prison doors flew open. And you know, the guards heard them and their testimony, and the guards were saved, and their life circumstances were changed. So it's not when we dwell on the negative, but we change our circumstances when we're thankful to the Lord and we know that He is with us and He's going through the valley or the storm with us, and we're going to the other side. And we're growing stronger in that. He's making us stronger. He allows things to happen to make us stronger and to make us depend on Him so that we do become stronger, so that we do change.
That's what I always tell Mackenzie is I feel like even when our whole evicted little situation happened, it's like following the Lord is so beautiful because everything that happens in your life, you just know it's happening for a reason.
Mhm.
Even if it's the worst of the worst situation, bad, like, you know, the Lord wants to grow something in you, or like this is just a pivotal part in your story.
Agreed.
And so I agree, like, following the Lord, it's like, it's really hard. Going back to our last episode, it's hard to have a bad day with the Lord
Yeah.
because,
It's all about perspective.
yeah, so
Yeah.
good.
I think, like, the more we mature, the more we realize it's not like, okay, take me out of the situation. It's
Mm.
like, what am I learning and what is this situation meant to teach me, like, along the way. But yeah, no, that's so good. I think we're going to dive into something fun now.
Oh, let's dive. into
Let's
something
dive.
fun.
I might be worried with you too.
grab a quick drink, ladies.
We might need
grab
it.
a little sip.
Of water.
Oh my word. Okay, so I feel like every person, every parent has probably instilled different things in their children that you take along the way.
Mhm.
And so I want to dive on a few things that have stuck with me from my mom. So I'm just going to give you random topics, and I'm going to let you expand on what you've taught me for the last 22 years of my life.
I'll just say I apologize now.
Okay, so
Oh my
number
gosh.
one, these are actually kind of both on relationships, funny enough. But number one is rose-colored glasses. I'm going to let you chat and expand on that.
Well, I guess you can look at that two ways. Sometimes when we first come upon situations or people, we look at things with rose-colored glasses.
Mm.
Yeah. Explain, like, what a rose-colored glasses means.
Well, you only see the good.
Okay.
Mm.
You only see the good. And then, you know, the further you're in a relationship or at a job, you think everything's great and wonderful. and then negative things happen and you kind of start changing your outlook.
100%.
But, you know, really when it comes down to it in life, we almost need to keep the rose-colored glasses on,
Mm.
you know? To always just try to look for the positive, like you just
Yeah.
said, like you girls do.
Yeah.
You just try to make the best of a situation.
Mm.
But, you know, we do sometimes see red flags and we need to be cognizant of them
Totally.
and maybe not get ourselves into a situation that we shouldn't, or listen to our gut instinct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just like you said with your Nicaragua trip. And,
Yeah.
you know, that may have been God's hand on you getting you out of that country.
100%.
Safety.
Your apartment situation. I knew when you all released that podcast, I was like, get ready, girls, something's going to happen.
100%. I think, yeah, the rose-colored glasses, that's such, I guess I've only ever, when you were explaining to me the rose-colored glasses analogy, I only really thought of it in relationships, but I guess you could totally wear the rose-colored glasses
Anything.
in every situation. Like us getting evicted, I guess that's going to be a very big topic during this one. We could have taken the glasses off and been like, this sucks. Like, we were being told at 9 p.m. at night that we have to be out at 6 a.m. Long story. I think we said this as well in our last podcast, but although some people may look at the rose-colored glasses as almost like, oh, you're in La La Land, like you're just seeing the positive, seeing the good. Like, I think me and Mackenzie, we love having the rose-colored glasses on because it's just the way of life that we want to choose. It's a happier way of life.
Mhm.
And like, I forgot who said it, but it was, maybe it was you this morning, how when you talk negatively about a situation or something, it naturally starts, like, affects your day. Like how you speak, how you talk.
It
So,
affects your faith.
yeah, that's what it was. It affects your
Yes.
faith, yes.
Yes, when all you talk about is negative, your faith starts going down.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have to keep our eyes on what is good and what is positive and what is right and be led.
Yeah.
So for rose-colored glasses, everyone, wear them in all situations, but don't wear them and keep your eyes closed. Still keep your eyes open to everything.
Just the signs.
Have discernment, see the signs, but life is better with the rose-colored glasses. Keep them on in the
We
relationship.
like pink. I don't know if you can tell.
We do like the rose-colored pink.
I think we do a little too
Keep the
much.
glasses on, but keep your eyes open as well.
Eyes open. Okay, so next topic on things that have stuck with me is like you just said, find someone that you can live with their struggles, live with their problems, because everyone has them. Expand on like what you kind of feel or like think about that.
Well, nobody's perfect. We're all human. We all fall short.
Yeah.
So you have to be with that person that you accept their shortcomings and they accept yours.
Yeah.
And then you can work together to be stronger or to be better, and just to know that you also balance each other out.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes. And, you know, it says in the Bible that beauty is fleeting. You know, you're looking for that inner strength, that inner beauty, that somebody that's secure with themselves, and you are secure with yourself.
Yeah.
I would say that a lot of I have learned is how things trigger my insecurities,
Yeah.
and then the negative comes out.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just working through that and overcoming those insecurities. Did I answer your question?
That was amazing.
Yeah, that's
Well-
good. It's crazy how like relationships can be a mirror. Like
Ooh.
it's like you're with someone.
Wait, say that again. That was so good. Oh my gosh.
Well, it really is. Every time
No,
I'm
I
in a relationship,
agree.
I'm like, all of a sudden I'm in a conversation or like I'm having a discussion and it's like, wait, like I'm saying something about them that I actually need to probably fix about myself. Or
Yeah.
like I need to work on myself, or a problem comes up and it's like, oh wait, I start to think they're the problem, but then I'm the problem.
Oh, we've had a lot of those conversations.
A finger pointing at them, 3 fingers pointing back at you.
Right?
Yeah, and so really it's crazy how relationships are a mirror, but I think on that note, I feel like something I just always took from that is like everyone has problems, but choose the problems you can deal with, you can work with for, if it's a marriage, for life. So that was always something that I loved.
What would you say, Sherelle, because you've been married for a long time, and I'm sure in your younger years you dated a few a few prospects. If you could give me and Mackenzie in our early 20s navigating life and relationships any advice, is there any advice you wish you could give yourself in your 20s, or do you have any advice for us specifically?
Don't look for them to fulfill you. Don't let their positive, flowery words be what hooks and keeps you hooked.
Oh, I love the flowery words.
I know, but and
I
I
love
do
those.
too. I do
love
too.
those.
I love those. We make a garden out of
What
them.
happens? What happens when they stop? What happens
True.
when that stops? You
So
know,
true.
it's like a guy can say, "I love your hair. You have the best hair."
What if I chop it off tomorrow?
But what,
It's like on identity and just that someone can't be our everything. We can't get our emotions, our feelings about ourselves from a situation or a person at all. Otherwise, we'll never be fulfilled.
Yeah, I feel like exactly like what you just said, your full identity has to be in Christ.
Yeah.
And I really didn't learn that until a lot later, I feel like, in my dating years, because I'd always look for people
Yeah.
to fill things that I didn't have filled myself, or I didn't lean on the Lord for those things.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you guys, it never works.
It
have to,
never
what's that
works
cheesy
out.
saying where it's like you have to love yourself before you can love someone else or something like that?
Yeah.
So on the same topic of identity, we asked Sherelle what was on her heart to talk about during this podcast, and she said identity.
Yeah.
And what would you like people to know about identity?
well, I figured out over the years that just really affects your relationship. That undercurrent of insecurity and needing them to fulfill you,
Yeah.
either with time, words, just whatever it is. We all do have a God-sized hole in our heart. We don't realize, you know, maybe it's money, possessions, physical appearance, that we're looking to look perfect and appear perfect, and then when things aren't as though you try to project them to be, you know, then you just fall apart and your world falls apart. And
Yeah.
that's when, you know, it drives you to the Lord, to the Word, to get filled up and get your fulfillment, and to know that God is always there. He's always with you. He never leaves you or forsakes you, and you are redeemed. Your past mistakes, he forgives. You just ask him to forgive you. You know, every day we're sinners. We all fall short, and every day his mercy and his grace are new and abundant towards us. He loves us. We are his children. So
how would you say you went on a journey of like growing in identity, or like how would you tell someone if they feel like right now they're using things to fulfill them? How would you grow in that?
dig into the Bible every day, and prayer and praise and worship music just really change what you're surrounding yourself with. And you know, I mean, we can still, you know, enjoy dressing nice or working out or you know, things, but those aren't the things that make us feel good about ourselves or make us secure with ourselves and who we are. It's not about, you know, what vehicles are in the driveway, what the house looks like. I mean, I like a clean house, but you know, I don't have to have everything.
Yeah, we love a clean house. That really helps my identity.
I think it helps mine too. Okay, well, next, something that's super cool that we wanted to chat about is Sherelle actually volunteers and works on the prayer line. And how long have you been doing that?
I think I'm coming up on 3 years.
Wow, so 3 years. That's crazy. And every Monday? Every Monday from 4 to 7?
Yes. Our Central Standard Time is 5 to 7 a.m.
5 to 7.
Wow.
She volunteers on the National Prayer Line and has people call in and she'll pray for them, which is so cool. But we wanted to hear a little bit more about that, what people like overall, because she's hearing from people all across the nation. And what are you hearing from people as struggles today, and what are you telling them?
A lot of it's relationship and finances.
Those are two struggles.
That's
indeed.
very interesting.
Yes, and you know,
Were we on the prayer line every week?
all degrees, all levels. And some people are short with their requests, and some people talk longer, and sometimes I'm not sure how to intervene and cut that off. And sometimes people just want to be heard. They just they're just thankful that you're there to listen to them, to answer the phone. And what I tell them, one of the scriptures I take them to is Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. I mean, it's just so rich. And if you just read it very slow and just take it in, you know, he leads, guides, and directs you. Like the shepherd out in the field with the sheep. He's protecting them from the wild animals. He's leading them to water. He's feeding them. And, you know, the Lord sets a banquet before you. What's our banquet? It's the Word. It's the Word. And I know that sometimes you feel like you're not understanding, but as you read and as you press in, the Lord will reveal things to you, and he will show up for you and to you. When people say, where is God in this situation? Well, I'm not sure if you're in the refining fire, but you know, Meshach, Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, they were in the fiery furnace. I mean, that is a visual for us. They were in the fiery furnace. You know, Paul and Silas in prison. And that's just really good visuals for us to see. And I also lead people to putting on the full armor. The full armor of Christ. Put on your helmet of salvation. Put on your breastplate of righteousness. You are the righteousness of Christ. Hold up your shield of faith. You know, believing is not seeing, it's believing by faith. And to stop the fiery darts that are coming at you. And put on your belt of truth. That's, you know, the word of the Lord deep in your belly. and put on your shoes of peace and walk in peace.
Amen, Sherelle.
Yes.
So good.
Wow, I feel like we're on the prayer line right now.
I feel like I'm getting talked
I'm
to.
like,
I'm
Shamik
like,
Indigo. Yes, fire furnace.
who again?
That's where they were. Wow, I can't even imagine how many lives you get. But what made you want to like get into the prayer line?
You know, I heard it advertised on the radio,
Oh, really?
and I just felt like the Lord was calling me to that.
In it, yeah. Whatever comes back up, like people that you've prayed for, to like pray for them again.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, that's a good question.
You know, the prayer line has a dashboard where we enter everything into, but I also journal it
Okay.
so that if something comes up to my memory or a name or a situation, or maybe I can't fully recall, I'll go back and look it up. And I do continue to pray for them, and they do come up in my heart and mind. And I do have people that are repeat callers.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are answering the prayer line at the same time,
Yeah.
but I do occasionally get repeat callers that call in all the time.
Wow. Okay, so really quick, what season would you say you are in right now with the Lord? Or what season you feel like the Lord has brought you into?
I feel like a couple of things. Peace,
Wow.
being okay with where I'm at in life. You know, there's things that I want to work on and things that I want to change and still pursuing, but just being okay with things sometimes not being okay
Ooh.
or exactly the way I want them to be, and just being okay with that.
Wow, I feel like that's something you've been talking about a lot recently. Is like just being okay with things not being perfectly okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's
we're-
not striving.
Yeah.
Not striving for perfection, but just kind of being okay if everything isn't like perfectly in order, and like still being good and like the process of becoming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so the last topic we wanted to chat about was hosting. I feel like growing up in high school, I feel like everyone always wanted to come to our house. Everyone wanted to come over, play pool in the basement, play hide and seek on the farm, come see the animals, jump on the trampoline, have Sherelle's cooking.
Yeah, you guys
Like-
have no idea. We got off work and the next day immediately drove here because we just knew we needed a retreat weekend.
Yeah.
And what a better retreat weekend than being at Mama Sherelle's house.
Yeah.
When I tell you guys our laundry was done in like an hour, food was prepped every second of the day. She asked us for like our request for every meal. Homemade ice cream was made. It's a dream being here.
Coffee's brewed in the morning.
Coffee's brewed in the morning, affirmations all day.
Snacks by afternoon.
It's like a full-on retreat. I don't know how
Yeah.
I'm going to go back
It's
to
like a bed
life.
and breakfast.
It's literally a bed and breakfast with like a God-fearing woman serving it.
yeah.
It's amazing.
It's like, whoa.
I'm like, whoa, I don't know how I'm going to go back to just me and Mackenzie. Laundry's like in the laundry hamper for a month.
I'm like, Ella, where's my coffee?
I'm like, it's in the fridge. And I'm not getting it out for you.
No, but seriously, I feel like our home has just always been like the hosting home, but it really is because of Sherelle and my mom and just the culture that she's created in our home of just welcoming people in and making it not just a house, but a home for people to come and just feel taken care of, served, loved on, all with like the love of the Lord in it, which makes it so much sweeter. But we just wanted to ask you, where did you learn to host people? How did you grow in serving? And yeah, just talk to us a little bit about hosting people.
Well, my mom did that.
Yeah.
My mom, I have 4 siblings, but the 2 older than me are brothers. And she was the Cub Scout leader, and my dad was the Scout leader, and Mom was just always doing things. Another thing she did, she would drop me off at elderly people's houses to clean their house or do yard work for them.
Oh, wow.
When we were hauling hay with Dad, and she was the original, or one of the original mason jars of your tea or water, lemonade.
Wow.
And she had a flower shop, and she did cakes, and she did caterings, but we were the helpers and my friends.
I love that.
We made the little sandwiches. We did weddings. We did funerals. We did anniversaries. So from her.
And how do you feel like you when did you start practicing that, and what did that kind of look like?
I think I've just practiced it naturally all my life because we have big family get-togethers and it's just been a part of things. But I will tell you that that was one of my issues also, was that I was always in the kitchen and always helping with the cooking and then cleanup, that I really never sat and just enjoyed the people and the company.
Wow.
So that's a side
A
of
Mary
me.
Martha situation.
Definitely a Mary Martha
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm. What would you say are some tips and tricks on how you host, how you prep when people are coming?
Yeah, that's a good question.
More the practical side of it.
Well, as you know, you're making your menu ahead of time and getting your groceries and getting the house
Getting
clean.
the menu
We
together.
got to create our own menu this
I like
weekend.
to create
Tonight
mine.
we are having steak and baked potatoes with a side of broccoli and homemade ice cream.
And not just any steak.
True, not just any steak.
Homegrown.
Homegrown, because we are on a
Homegrown.
farm in Missouri right
Yeah.
now.
We're on the farm.
Homegrown beef, the best.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Oh yeah, so practical tips. Prep your menu before.
Yes.
Clean the house, I'm sure.
Yes, and maybe
Maybe.
whatever decor you're doing and
Yeah.
setting the table, getting the plates and everything out and ready to go. I mean, I will start working on things sometimes a week ahead of time. I mean, you know, my husband's, your dad, always makes fun of me for
Yeah.
being prepared, but he was an
Right.
Eagle Scout, and that's part of the Scout promise is to be prepared.
I love
You
preparation.
throw that in there. I love that. You go, you were an Eagle Scout, Steven.
Well,
Steven,
Steven, you were an Eagle Scout.
there's preparation in there.
My brothers were too, and I was under their shadow.
Yeah.
In Boy Scouts, you know, I was right there with them in
Yeah.
Boy Scouts.
I feel like that's definitely made me a preparer. You're definitely a preparer.
Mhm.
We're big preparers.
Oh,
We'll prepare, we'll prep. We'll prep
We're
like,
big prep girls.
yeah. I think it is like a really, I love being prepared, one.
Yeah.
But I think one thing Mackenzie's definitely gotten from you, Sherelle, is I would definitely say that hosting and servant mindset and attitude, because even just being like one of Mackenzie's best friends, like, I mean, this morning I woke up and she had my coffee already for me. So it's great being in relation with these two. They do everything for me.
Everything's around food, coffee, a beverage.
But it does go to show, though, just I think the importance of like the role of the mother is like you literally showed Mackenzie.
Yeah.
You probably didn't sit down with Mackenzie with a book and you were like, you need to prep a week out. You need to ask them for a menu and you need to go out of your way for people. But because you were like that and because you always went out of your way for everyone else, that was Mackenzie's normal.
Yeah.
So now, like, without hesitation, Mackenzie's
Just what we do.
just that way.
Mhm.
You know, I know my mom's the exact same
Yeah.
way, and it's so cool to be in a friendship where we're both offsprings of parents who did that, because it's like, oh, you already have my coffee brewed, well, I have your sandwich in the fridge made for you, and you want your water bottle filled up, and
Yeah.
it's
like
it's
serving each other.
it's really cool, and I honestly feel like that servant mindset, it's from the Lord. The Lord loves that, but I feel like it's very rare in this day and age. I feel like, don't you think?
Because it's putting others before yourself,
Ooh,
and it's just serving people.
you hit it on the coffin.
Ooh.
You hit it on the coffin, didn't you?
But yeah, it's just putting others before you, and I think in a day and age where it's just pushed in society and culture to put yourself first, and like you come before everything, it's like it's the upside down kingdom. It's like the Lord is first, and then others, and then you. And whenever you serve other people with that Jesus love, people aren't used to it. So it's definitely so of the Lord. But yeah, I'm definitely super thankful because I do feel like I got that from you. Like I can remember going back to like first grade and us sitting on the kitchen counter and like making little presents for all my teachers for Christmas, writing them thank you notes for being a good teacher, making presents and like things for like the kids in school if it was their birthday, and like bringing a treat. Like it started at such a young age of just how are we gonna host, how are we gonna love on people, how are we gonna show people we care. I remember you'd have like little bags for people, like homeless people, so when we pass them on the road we give them like a bag of like food and water. but like all those things were just instilled at such a young age, and then they just like kept growing throughout even like high school and stuff, which was super cool to experience from like a kid's perspective growing up. And here we are now, and we love to host, and we were event planners, and
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, wow.
now planning is just what we do.
Now we're just planners.
Now we're just planners all day.
Look at what you write.
Look at what you produced.
Look at what you made. We're now event planners.
And always plan your snacks.
And
Yes.
above all, we have our snacks planned, which is the most important.
Oh, yes.
That
Oh,
keeps
yes.
you fueled and going.
But anyway, well, are we gonna wrap it here?
I think so.
I think we're gonna put a wrap on this episode, file number 3, Chats with Mom.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us. We are so excited to continue pouring into the podcast after our first guest, Mama Sherelle, and we're just excited to see where it goes.
We're so excited to see where it goes. We're so sorry it's been so long, but wasn't she worth the wait?
Wasn't she
worth it?
And isn't she so pretty in pink?
Oh, you're so pretty in pink.
You
Sounds
go.
like we need to go get a bed from.
Sounds like we need to go get a bed from Architect. Architect Coffee.
Okay, well, and that's a wrap on Friendship File number 3.